offshore wind, solar. Dominion Energy is a leader in the clean energy transition. We're dedicated to providing reliable, affordable, safe, and clean energy as we support and invest in our communities in 16 states. Dominion Energy is building a clean energy future. Actions speak louder. Welcome to Actions Speak Louder, a program about Dominion Energy's projects and community support. I'm Peggy Fox, Dominion Energy's Media and Community Relations Manager in Northern Virginia. The Dominion Energy Charitable Foundation has awarded grants to 206 nonprofit organizations in 8 states to help feed, house, and care for people in need. Totaling more than $1.5 million, the grants will support essential human services. This is the 6th year the company has awarded more than $1 million to meet critical community needs. Here in Northern Virginia, more than a dozen organizations received grants, and the leaders of 3 of them are joining us here today to talk about their mission and the people they help. In studio with me is PATY FUNEGRA, the founder and CEO of La Cocina in Arlington. PATY, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Peggy, for having me here today and be able to share with the community what we do with your support.
Tell us, when you started your organization, you had a very unique vision. Tell us about it.
Yes, I moved to the United States from my native Peru almost 14 years ago already. And I worked here in Washington, D.C. In international development. But I didn't really feel my contribution, my direct contribution, because I never traveled to the countries in Central America that this institution helped. So I was curious and just volunteer everywhere here in the DMV region until I found organizations that were working on the culinary industry, training unemployed individuals to obtain jobs in that industry. But when I looked deeper into that, I found that the Latino community, which is present in larger numbers in food service establishments everywhere in the country, were not having access to credentials or training or the skills that could allow them to obtain better jobs and create careers for them and their children in this country as immigrants. So I quit my wonderful job and moved to work in the basement of a church in Arlington to start La Cocina VA in 2014. Through all these 7 years, we have been able to help hundreds of unemployed individuals, mostly Latina women, and women that come from stories of human trafficking and domestic abuse that have very low English proficiency. And that's one of the challenges, Peggy, that our community face when working to create or generate higher paid incomes or access a career path. So La Cocina was founded in the basement of a church, partnering with Northern Virginia Community College, training our clients on English skills for the food service industry, helping them obtain jobs. 85% of our clients are placed in jobs before the pandemic. Wow. And we have been able to feed also communities around the Arlington area. We moved during the pandemic to this fantastic 5,000 square feet new facility that has tripled our capacity to help more people.
Well, that is fantastic. What an incredible story that you saw this need and now you are helping people get better jobs in the food service industry. Tell us about the grant that Dominion Energy has given you and how that will be put to good use.
Yes, we are partnering now with Dominion Energy. Funds that we have received will be used in a very comprehensive way. We have a food assistance program, so we will be able to produce more meals to help schools, to help communities in need and shelters. Also, those funds will contribute to our culinary job training program to provide more individuals with these credentials. But finally, I will say, to support our incubator program that helps immigrants to create businesses in the food service industry. So it's a broad support that Dominion Energy is providing that we're going to put to a very good use.
Well, it's just it's wonderful to hear about your organization and your passion behind it and all the people you're helping. I'd like to move on, and we're going to talk to some of the other folks we have on Zoom. We have Kathleen McMahon. She's the Executive Vice President of Business and Communications for Northern Virginia Family Service. NVFS offers many services to thousands of needy people. It's really like a huge safety net. Kathleen, tell us more about Northern Virginia Family Service.
Thank you. It's an honor to be with you all today. Northern Virginia Family Service is a nearly 100-year-old nonprofit that's been serving the Northern Virginia community. In the past year, we've served approximately 35,000 clients across the region. Over 2/3 of our clients live below the federal poverty line. And our mission really is to give people at every stage of life the resources they need so they can thrive and be self-sufficient.
Tell us a little bit about the grant you received from Dominion Energy as well, and how you're putting that to good use.
Absolutely. We are going to use this grant to support our trauma-informed mental health services across Northern Virginia. It covers a broad spectrum of our clients across multiple jurisdictions. So it includes immigrants and refugees who experienced trauma, torture, domestic violence, civil strife. Many of the clients that PATY referred to in her remarks, new and expectant parents who are low income and are foreign born, and many who are disconnected from family and a safety net of support as they're entering their journey into parenthood, youth at risk of gang involvement or family violence, as well as individuals and families who may be experiencing chronic or situational homelessness. We have a 92-bed family shelter in Manassas where we are working to meet the mental health needs. And, you know, these are particularly vulnerable groups that are disconnected from the services and resources that our community offers. You know, particularly for our immigrant clients that we serve through our multicultural center, we provide therapy, medication management, as clients are addressing their trauma, their healing, and their recovery. We have an incredible staff that are diverse and multilingual, and they can better connect to the clients and their experiences. You know, we've had some great successful outcomes. 65% of our clients who receive our mental health services show an improvement either in reduction of symptoms or their overall functioning and well-being. And that's something we really want to build on as 300%. We've seen a 300% increase in the demand for our services since the outset of the pandemic.
Right.
So support from Dominion and other funders really are helping us not only address the current need, but the long-term recovery needs that are ahead of us.
Yeah, we've heard many stories about the significant mental problems, mental issues that have plagued people during the pandemic, and I'm glad to see that you all are, you know, helping in many ways. Let's talk to Kathy MAJASICH. She's the Chief Operating and External Relations Officer at Wesley Housing, which provides safe, quality, and affordable housing to residents of the Washington, D.C. area. Kathy, tell us a little bit more about Wesley Housing.
Well, first of all, Peggy, thank you so much for having all of us today and for Dominion's very generous contributions. Wesley Housing is a nonprofit affordable housing developer, owner, and operator. We currently own and operate 25 properties throughout Northern Virginia and in Washington, D.C., and we currently serve a little over 3,200 residents. We're growing. As everyone knows, affordable housing is definitely, there's a need in the area, and within the next year, we will be opening 4 new properties, 3 in Northern Virginia and 1 out in Winchester to serve seniors. Like I said, we've been around since 1974. In addition to providing a safe, affordable place for people to live, we also provide an array of programs and services to help our residents build up their lives.
Tell us about the grant and how is the grant going to be used, Kathy?
Well, a program that we have had in place since 2011 really focuses on housing stability. As many of us have seen over the last year, just maintaining housing is difficult, especially given the fact that a number of people have been unemployed and they're facing a variety of issues. So the grant that we are receiving from Dominion will help our housing stability initiative, which really provides direct assistance and referral and linkage to our residents throughout our portfolio.
I also have on Zoom, we have Jeannie Underwood, who works with me at Dominion Energy, and she has really been the one who's in charge of receiving the applications for the grants and compiling them all together. And so I'd like to bring her on to just because I know so many nonprofit organizations are really dependent upon companies like ours to help provide support. So Jeannie, could you talk a little bit about how many requests do we get for critical community needs?
We receive a great number. In 2021, we received over 350 across our service footprint. In Northern Virginia alone, we receive dozens each year, including the competitive initiative that we just now held. There is no finite season for critical needs in our community, so they are accepted on a rolling basis throughout the year. And again, we see hundreds of them across our service footprint each year.
And what's the average amount of funding?
Right. So again, those amounts do vary. In Northern Virginia this year, we were just so pleased that we were able to award a total of nearly $200,000 to over a dozen incredibly dedicated community partners like the three that are being spotlighted here today.
Yeah, and it's not just a rubber stamp, because I've sat in our committee hearing, our committee meetings where we discuss the grants, we read them, what's involved as far as the decisions that go into place, because I'm still new to Dominion Energy, but you've been here a long time, and you know what kinds of things we look at before we can go ahead and move forward with a grant.
Right, it's a very thorough process. The best place for an organization to start if they're interested in applying for a Dominion Energy Foundation grant would be to go to our website, which is www.dominionenergy.com, keyword foundation. If you go to that webpage, you'll be able to access all the important information that you'll need to apply, including eligibility requirements and exclusions. And from there, once your online application is submitted and received by our corporate foundation office, the appropriate geographical Dominion Energy office will receive the request, and a team of individuals in our group will be reviewing them thoroughly and making decisions for funding. And so this year we were able to just continue the good work, help continue the good work of these great partners like those that you've seen today on this program.
Yeah, and I talked about it at the start of the program, but we have also provided funding for critical community needs across our service footprint, including Utah and Cleveland, Ohio, and all the places where our company is. And it kind of makes you think, the world is smaller, and it's not just us. There's people struggling everywhere, and it's nice to be able to work for a company that can help.
Right, absolutely.
And I'd like to go back to PATY, because we didn't talk about how much COVID has hurt. I mean, you've been, sort of on the front lines and witnessed, and just driving around communities, you can see, restaurants closed and nobody in there, and it's just been heartbreaking. What has it been like to work directly with people who've been affected by COVID and may have lost their job or their livelihood?
Yes, Peggy, 95% of people that were working, that were placed in jobs after going through our training, lost those jobs from day one. We couldn't offer our signature services as the culinary training because there were no jobs available for our trainees. So we also have to pivot and put together funds and emergency services to provide cash to these families that in that way they could afford rent and medicine and utilities. So it was an enormous struggle that particularly workers from the food service and hospitality industries went through. And particularly for La Cocina, that was the year when we finished the construction of the new facility. So it was an additional challenge that we have to face to keep raising funds under those conditions. But as I mentioned before, now we are at this brand new facility that has increased greatly our capacity to serve more people and to be their ally through the recovery process.
And what the facility that you're talking about, you mentioned culinary skills. I mean, obviously you're having language courses so that people can hone their English skills and get better at that. But is there also actually food prep skills?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
The Northern Virginia Community College Workforce Development Program certifies the content of our curriculum, which offers basic cooking techniques, but more importantly, job skills and life skills, and these soft skills that not just employees or workers at the food service and hospitality industry requires, but everyone else. So sense of urgency, responsibility, communication skills, those are also part of the content of the programs that we offer, in addition to financial literacy, English, and the possibility to be placed on an internship program for 30 days, paid by the employers, that allow them to show these potential employers their skills to become part of their teams.
Can you tell us some of the restaurants where your people are working?
Absolutely. We work mostly with large corporations, so Hyatt, the Hyatt Group, Hilton restaurant groups in the Alexandria and Arlington area. What we look for, Peggy, is for job opportunities that offer long-term sustainable income, that offers full-time jobs, that offer benefits. So we completely transform in a very short period of time. Our programs are last 12 weeks. So after 12 weeks, a completely unemployed individual becomes employed with benefits and with a career path in front of them.
In Washington, D.C., I think the minimum wage is $15 an hour. Would you all get into that discussion at all, in that debate?
Absolutely. It's very important for us. It has always been to collect data, the demographics of our clients, but also how our intervention creates change in their lives. So yes, we measure the hourly wage or the monthly payment that they receive when they are placed in jobs. And it goes from $13 an hour to $22 an hour for the entry job. And it depends on who the employer is, what the position is, and what are the skills that this individual presents. But we also measure how that new income change the path in their family. So when they are able to pay debt or buy a car, or for some of them even getting a smartphone for the first time because accessing this income.
You know, it's so interesting because I think the representatives here from these different organizations, you probably serve some of the same people. And do you all coordinate together? Could I just kind of throw that out there to Kathleen or Kathy?
Yeah. Well, we, during the pandemic, had the privilege of partnering with PATY on our Scala program to work with them around the case management with their food entrepreneurs. And it's wonderful that the philanthropic efforts of the community have made possible, and support from the Arlington County government as well, that we're able to grow and start a program. And it's a privilege to partner with you, Patty. We're really excited about the work we're doing together.
And Kathy, tell us about, we talked a little bit about COVID, and has it been difficult to keep people in housing through COVID?
Well, as you know, there was a moratorium in place. So, but Wesley has never been about evicting residents. Right. Even before the pandemic, we have had, the mission of just keeping people stably housed. The biggest issue, was unemployment, which then led to individuals' inability to pay their rent. So over the last 18 months or so, we've been able, through that linkage and referral that I mentioned earlier, to help identify over $1 million worth of rental assistance for our residents. It'll be interesting over the next few months, since the moratoriums have ended, what's going to happen, but we stand committed to being able to assist our residents as best we can.
Yeah, that really has been a lifeline, making sure that no one is evicted. And I'm sure that you will be there to help, as all of the leaders here of these organizations. And it really, I think it really makes our region shine to know that we have leaders like yourselves to help out and help the neediest among us and help lift them up, give them stable housing. What kind of organizations do you partner with in terms of with the people that live in your apartments? And I bet, have you partnered with La Cocina, organizations like that?
Off the top of my head, I don't believe we have, and I could be wrong. And so for that, I apologize. Yeah, but certainly the work that we do, we heavily rely on a variety of partners throughout the area. We have a great relationship with several different universities, specifically George Mason University. They actually provide us anywhere from 10 to 12 master's level interns every semester who augment our resident services staff to provide that direct assistance. Others that we've partnered with is the Islamic Relief USA. They've really been instrumental in helping with food insecurity. We also have a career development program, so we're always looking for organizations to partner with. So if we haven't partnered with your organization before, I'd love to connect and figure out if there's some synergies there.
There we go. Thanks, Kathy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I love talking about partnerships because they really do sort of make the whole area even more vibrant. But Kathleen was talking about some of those partnerships as well. Could you describe more, talk more about the partnerships and how you're helping to build partnerships and help people in need?
Absolutely. We are embedded in the communities in which we serve, and that is partnerships with government, partnerships with local organizations, particularly with our mental health services. We partner with refugee resettlement organizations. To provide the services and creating a continuum of care. We have a unique skill set around crisis response, but also meeting the long-term needs. And so, for example, currently with the Afghan refugee crisis that's coming to our community, we're providing training and support to staff of the refugee organizations so they're prepared. We anticipate that many of the refugees coming to our communities are the same, will be future clients, will need to access our multicultural center and our resources that we offer. And so we really can't do it without our funders, without our community partners. Our workforce development program, as many of you have spoken about, really rely on the care and support of local corporations and, beyond the dollars, in-kind support. We saw tremendous, outpouring of support over this past year of people wanting to step up and support. Local jurisdictions partnered with us to distribute more than $5 million in rent and mortgage assistance to different jurisdictions throughout Northern Virginia. So it's really, our work is made possible through the partnerships that we have in the community.
Excellent. Kathleen, we actually have a picture here in the center from
Yes.
Northern Virginia
Of our
Family Service.
volunteers.
Yes,
I know those folks.
And I know that's my next question. If people want to get involved with your organization, what kind of volunteer opportunities do you have, and how could they do that?
Terrific. Yes, we, like many organizations, have pivoted during this time. We have a menu of online and remote opportunities, zooming into our Head Start classrooms in Arlington. We have had volunteers coming in person since the outset of the pandemic to our Hunger Resource Center, where we distribute food to more than 700 families a month. We also have volunteers at our family shelter and within our workforce development program. Resume writing, interview skills, they're a critical component to our success. So there's information and menus on our website, and I encourage folks who want to get hands-on, and whether it's coming in person to volunteer, whether it's organizing a drive to collect supplies. We're always looking for things like toilet paper and diapers and wipes and all of the essential items that families in crisis need. We just completed a really successful drive where we distributed 1,300 backpacks to our students and our clients and their families. And so these are all volunteer opportunities where we hope that the community will continue to join us.
And give us your website address.
nvfs.org.
Perfect. All right, Kathy, I'm going to ask you as well, in case people want to find out more about Wesley Housing, what should they do?
They can visit us at www.wesleyhousing.org.
Okay, and Patty, you're at lacocina.org?
LaCocinaVA.org, Facebook, Instagram, all over the internet.
Excellent. Thank you, ladies, so much. Wonderful talking to you today, and best of luck. I'm Peggy Fox. Thanks for watching Actions Speak Louder. We hope you join us next time to learn more about how Dominion Energy is working toward a sustainable future. Be safe.